All right, y'all. I know it's the Grand Prix final eve, so most of us have our candles out all ready to light. But I'm going to give y'all a real quick recap of like the 9 million skating competitions that happened over Thanksgiving week. Now, if you're like, oh, I don't care about those competitions, I just want to hear about the Grand Prix final and what you think might happen, I will link my preview video in the comments down below. All right, y'all, don't forget to like, share, hype, and subscribe for more figure skating related content. Just as a warning, this is going to be even more of a laid back than usual vibe because there's just so much to discuss. And also, I did not get to watch every single event because many of them are behind a paywall. First, let's talk about the Challenger Series, the Tallinn Trophy. For the women, it was really exciting for Olivia Liskov from Finland. Huge win for her with a 196, and she looked so ecstatic for this win. Her short program was beautifully done, and for her free skate, she was nearly perfect except she popped a jump, but she still got out like a triple combo, and I think roughly like 6 triple jumps altogether. Now, Sarah Everhart, for her short program, she looked more confident, I feel like, going into her jumps than we've seen in this season for a bit. Although after her triple loop, like she really was holding on to it. Her step sequence, though, is still only getting a level 2. And I think they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out like what can be done differently. Like it is a very unique step sequence, but just like what is she constantly getting dinged on? Now for her free skate, I spoke too soon when thinking about her short program, how she looked more confident in her jumps because for her free skate, she surprised me with the fall and just mistakes. And so it's interesting because she used to be the one that like was very consistent. She was known as like the consistent queen. And then just something this season has gone awry. Like hopefully she can bounce back for next quad because I do think she has the potential to be one of the top US women, just not this season, unfortunately, for her. I also got to see Star Andrews, who came in 5th place. Now, I didn't get to see her free program. I didn't see it posted anywhere. Now, her short program, I was just so excited for her because she has gone with so much confidence into her programs now. It's like as soon as she said, I'm going to be a Paris girlie, like something shifted in the middle of the night. At first, when I saw her short program, I was a little annoyed because like, how did she not get above Sarah Everhart? However, when you just look at the protocols, like her short programs combo, it has less of a base value, so that makes sense. Overall, though, it's like this was a really good outing for her, and I'm really excited to see all that energy kind of channeled into being a Paris girl. Nina Petrakina from Estonia returned here after her injury, so she came in 4th here, which is really exciting. She still doesn't seem 100%, though it looks like she's avoiding some of the jumps, such as a flip and a Lutz. But it is still really promising to see her here and see her do as well as one can when they've been out for a bit. And for the men, Alexander Sevko from Estonia won here. I didn't get to see his free skate. I laughed so much when I came back to my notes where I wrote, good Lord, I love this short program, even in terrible lighting. I didn't get to see his free program. Although I'm curious to see how it went because I feel like the scores that all of them got were much lower than what we're used to seeing. Now for Matteo, he was actually supposed to be, I feel like, at the Italy test skates. I'm not quite sure what the Italy test skates is all about. I'm going to have to look into that more because when I search for it, it just takes me through some gobbledygook stuff. But so he came in 2nd here. And now his short program, he didn't have any quads in it. And I don't know if that was by accident or like a plan by his team. He did end up getting a call on his spin, and I'd have to go back and watch and see why. Like I actually saw the protocol first before I saw his program, and I expected it to be a tragedy, but it wasn't like anything that stood out as tragedy, if that makes sense. And Max Naumov from America ended up in 4th place, and I was really hoping he'd score higher here. Like I'm still rooting for him to be the dark horse and end up having an Olympic spot. And luckily this channel is so small that I don't think I'm gonna have a certain someone crashing out on me over this statement. That is a long story for another video. And for ice dance, Olivia Smart and Tim Deek from Spain, they ended up climbing from 4th to 1st. Thankfully, I got to see both of their programs because like the Spain Skating Federation is on point. They're always knowing how to hype their skaters, man. So in the rhythm dance, Olivia stumbled during the twizzle, and I thought, oh my God, what's going to happen? But they climbed their way back with an epic dune program. Now, let's just go on to the Korean ranking competition. So this competition serves a couple purposes. First, it helps determine who goes to 4 continents. And then it's one of the competitions that's used for determining the Olympic spots. What the Korean Federation does is they take the scores from this competition and Korean nationals, add them up, and then decide who ends up going to the Olympics. Also, major shout out to the Korean Federation for making it so easy to find this competition and watch it. For the women, Jia Shen came in first place here with a total of 216.20 total points. She really put down 2 amazing programs, probably the best I've ever seen from her, especially her short program. Like, I'm starting to really fangirl her short program. Like, it's becoming one of my favorites. So I won't lie, I was not that optimistic about how this would go just because her season's been kind of hit or miss. However, she really laid it down, y'all. Like, really. So I feel like she's going to end up at the Olympics unless something chaotic happens at nationals. Knock on wood, get your candles out ready. Yoo-jae Kim came in second here, and she was originally leading after the first program, likely due to that like stunning triple axel that caused a little bit of buzz in figure skating land all around. But she ended up falling on the triple in the free skate, but the rest of her program was clean. So she is too young to qualify for the Olympics, so her score will not be considered here while they're determining who gets to go. And Cheyenne Kim, I feel like she is back. She's not 100%. Her jumps were not perfectly round. No major falls, no major errors. She came here with a 3rd place win and 201.78 points. So Jean Yeon, forgive me if I said that wrong. I could only find clips where Ted was saying her name, and I don't mean to be, a certain way, but, sometimes he can butcher a name, and I have no room to talk, but yeah, he can butcher a name. So she came in 4th. However, she is still a junior, so her score will not be factored in. Haein Lee came in 5th with a total score of 195.80. So that is 20 points behind Jae Shin and 5.98 points behind Cheyenne Kim. So I think it's going to be really hard for her to make it up unless complete and total chaos happens. And I feel like since Cheyenne Kim seems to be back to baseline, except jumps are not perfectly round, like it's just going to be harder an uphill battle for her. Now, she is going to go to 4 continents, which is good for her, but there's only 2 spots for the Korean women at the Olympics. And so her jumps were not perfect here. There was just like a lot of under rotations galore and doubles instead of triples. And Young Yu actually ended up in 10th place. Like, she did not have the best time here. Now, Junhwa Cho came in 2nd place here. I am still worried about him. Like, his boots, I hope that can get cleared up before the Olympics, but I'm not optimistic about that at this point. Now, luckily for him, he was the highest scoring senior here, so that helps him when it comes to the Olympics and everything, but he's still got to make it through Korean nationals. Like, I feel like we need to light 5,200 candles here. And in ice dance, which could have actually been an email, Yim and Kwon ended up being the winners here, an N of 1. All right, so real quick, the 4 continents team from Korea has been decided, as you can see here. Now, let's go on to the Santa Claus Cup. Now, I tried my darndest to find clips. This was like under more lockdown than anything ever. There were a couple clips of the winner here for the women, Andrea Cantu from Mexico, but I could only find like bits and pieces here and there. So she luckily ended up getting the minimums needed for 4 continents. So that's really exciting for her. And also Mexico's a smaller federation. So that makes me very, very happy to see a win from her here. And it looks like also Ava Marie Zingler from USA competed here. Now, I couldn't find anything. It's as if this didn't happen. But if you look at the protocols, it looks like jumps were a struggle for her. So hopefully by next quad, she can just bounce on back to the way she was and kind of get back to the way she was when she had that NHK Trophy win. Prati and Summeril from America ended up winning here. And so this must be a relief for them after that disappointing Grand Prix placement for them. Also, it looks like Isabel Flores competed here for a new partner. Oh, I also meant to briefly talk about the Italian test skate. So it looks like chaos all around. Like all the men dropped out. Matteo was like, LOL, I'm not there. And Nikolai Mamola from Italy actually ended up having to drop out. And so he posted to Instagram to say, hello, guys, a little update on yesterday. In the short program, after a pretty hard fall on the quad lutz, I tried to continue the competition. But after I landed my triple axel, I felt something really wrong in my pelvis. I decided not to take any unnecessary risks, so I had to withdraw. My doctor suggested getting an x-ray to make sure nothing serious had happened, so I drove to a great ER in Toronto that specializes in bone injuries. Sadly, while I was waiting for the results, someone broke into my car and stole my luggage with my skates, my short program costume, and my Normatex. I hope I said that right. Little inconvenience aside, tomorrow I'll get an MRI to have a clearer picture of the situation. Thank you for the kind messages and for the interest. I'll probably go to church now, LOL. Oh my God, y'all. Like, that's terrible. And I'm just thinking, like, now he's got to find new boots to break in. And costumes are not cheap. And that is just heartbreaking. And an injury. Oh my God. So this is just too much at once. Candles lit everywhere. But Laura Naki Guwen, she won. Yay. So there's something positive from the test skate. Now, on to the Canadian Challenger. It looked like Keegan Messing was going to win after the short program, but he just didn't have the stamina for the free skate. So Wesley Chube, like, popped in like a golden horse and saved a day. I just think it's going to be a really uphill battle for him, for Keegan, competing against Steven and Roman for the Olympic spot because, like, he's not going to be able to do it unless he's got, like, a 5-minute break in the middle of his, like, he's going to have to somehow, like, choreograph in some smoke breaks. And as for women, Gabby Delman won here. Her jumps weren't perfect, but still looks like she's on a positive trajectory. So her total score here was 177.27, though it is important to note that Maddie Skizas, her season's total best score is 188.60 from Finlandia Trophy. I am so pumped for Canadian Nationals, y'all. Let's hope it's not in a gymnasium somewhere. Let's hope it's not in, like, Ted's basement. Hopefully they, like, spruce up the basement a bit if it is there. Like, I'm just excited. Oh, and Fearon Gibson, no surprise, won the British Nationals, which I feel like it's so early to have Nationals. It feels like it's a Christmas thing or after Christmas. All right, y'all. I, for one, am super pumped for the Grand Prix final that is coming up soon. Oh my God, y'all. Like, I can't. Like, it's going to be so exciting, but I'm also nervous. Why am I nervous? I need candles lit everywhere. Candles all over my house. All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, share, hype, and subscribe for more figure skating related content.